Hi there, everybody. It's Senior Meteorologist Matt Wintz. It's Wednesday evening here. Time right now about 8:19 here this evening. And I want to update you on where the snow is, who's getting it right now, what we're expecting as we go over the next couple days here in terms of this lake effect setup. And really want to answer some of your questions here because lake effect can be confusing. Why is it not in my backyard? Why did my neighbor get a foot? All right, so we'll talk about all that here coming up in the forecast. But first and foremost, just want to say, some of you are starting to see the snow. We're going to see things really start to ramp up tonight in portions of northeastern Ohio. And then eventually tomorrow morning, we're going to be dealing with a much snowier scene than what we've had over the course of today, but not for everybody, okay? So we'll let some people join here. I'm going to flip this thing around and get to some of the maps for you, if that's okay, because that's what you're interested in seeing. So first and foremost, I just want to say thank you very much for spending your evening with me. I'll keep this as brief as I can. The whole point of Facebook Lives, I just want to make this very clear, is I hope you get something out of this, okay? This isn't for clicks or anything like that. I don't care about that. I care about you getting valuable information out of this because you're taking time out of your Wednesday evening to join me for this. So certainly appreciate it, and let's get to it. So here's what we're dealing with right now. We've had a very steady lake effect band out over the lake going this way pretty much all evening long. It's been very well organized, but it's been offshore. Outside of that lake effect band, you notice how we've got some other snow that's developed. This was what we were tracking 5, 6, 7 o'clock. There are some snow showers, just general snow showers that are mainly on the light side. We get a couple bursts of some good snow here. This is associated with the system moving in. So we've got really two areas of snow. We've got system snow down to the south, and then we've got the big show, which is this lake effect out towards the north. You can't help but miss that as we, look out over the lake. Most of it rain right now. Reason why lake water temperature is sitting in the 50s. So that warmer lake water creates a warmer atmosphere up above it. But all this turns to snow as you get inland. So no concern with that being any rain. So in terms of watches and warnings, we've got a lake effect snow warning for Ashtabula County. We have winter weather advisories for Lake and Geauga counties. This is where we're expecting wintry weather. So we're going to have some slick surfaces, slick roads, some wintry travel, especially tomorrow morning for that rush hour as it looks right now. And then this is where we're going to have the big problems, right? Where you have over 6 inches of snow expected, rough travel. You get the picture, especially if you're, in and around Lake Ashtabula County all the time. We're obviously dealing with that. And notice how it extends up here towards Erie as well. That's where your problems are going to be. I-90, especially off towards the north. Southern Ashtabula County, you're included in this, but I don't think the impacts are going to be quite as high here as they are in the northern half of the county. I grew up in Jefferson, which is, right in the center half of the county. And a lot of times we'd be under some kind of, winter storm warning or lake effect snow warning, and we wouldn't get any snow. It would be all off towards the north. So that's that. All right, so that's kind of the basics in terms of what we have going on. Let's dive into a little analysis, shall we? The lake effect snow band that we're watching continues to be offshore, okay? This is very well organized stuff. As this comes inland out towards the Erie, PA area, even just south of Buffalo right now, they're seeing some rapid accumulation of snow. Snowfall rates on the order of about 1 inch an hour where this is hitting, but notice it's not here yet. For our concerns, this is all out over the lake. And what's going to change that? I mean, it looks like it's going to continue out over the lake, right? Well, as we look bigger picture and we look off towards the north, let me get the right map here for you so we can actually show what I'm talking about. As we look at the bigger picture here, these little waves of energy, you can see there's just a general low pressure across the eastern half of the country. You have, circulation like this, okay? Everything kind of wrapping up like that. That would be just a general low pressure there. Within that general low pressure, which continues to bring in colder air, right, you get these little waves or ripples. So you've got one here moving through. It's kind of a disturbance in the atmosphere. We call it a trough. That disturbance in the atmosphere is kicking off all this snow. That's not just lake effect. But usually behind these little disturbances, you get a wind shift as well. So that disrupts your lake effect snow band. There's another one up here, all right? That'll come in here late on Thursday into Friday. And there's even another one way up in Canada that's going to come down Saturday night and Sunday. All those are going to kind of disrupt this snow. They're going to create not just lake effect snow, but they'll bring snow showers, kind of like you're seeing here. They'll bring that to everyone, all right? So just because, we've got the lake effect warning and the advisories out in our snow belt, it doesn't mean we're not going to see snow down to the south and for everyone else. I mean, everyone else is kind of picking up some snow showers tonight. We're going to get another little batch of some snow showers through here. None of these are going to produce a lot of snow, but again, we're not going to say goodbye to the snow completely after tonight for areas not within the snow belt. All right, of bigger concern, though, is how do we get this snow band to go from where it's going right now inland? Well, that trough as it goes by that I was alluding to is right about here, okay? Notice how out ahead of it, we've got wind going this way. There's your snow band. But behind it, we've got out of Lake Michigan, it's coming in that way, like that, right? Even off towards the north, as we look up towards Lake Huron, it's coming in like that. That's where your wind shift is. And what's going to happen as we go throughout the evening hours, or what's supposed to happen, what I think is going to happen, is going to be this lake effect snow band that's like this is suddenly going to start to churn a little bit more this way and then perhaps even that way coming in from the northwest. That's what brings us our snow tonight and tomorrow morning. But we have to wait on this trough to get here. It's about an hour and a half to 2 hours away. That's when I think we start to see the changes with that band of snow out over the lake. Until then, they're going to continue to get nailed with heavy snow from the Erie. This really starts around Northeast, which is a town just east of Erie, Pennsylvania. It really starts around Northeast and then heads up just south of Buffalo. Buffalo located right up here. Trust me, Buffalo's going to get a lot for that. Out ahead of the Browns game. I don't know if the Browns game gets a lot of snow itself that day. It may be kind of waning in intensity by then, but they're going to have a lot on the ground for sure. But for our concerns here, this lake effect is expected to come inland. So what I want to show you is the latest model run. This is brand new as of the 8:15 time frame, so about 10 minutes old on this. And I want to show you what the models are saying in terms of where the snow goes, okay? First thing we do as meteorologists is we look at the models and we say, is that something I believe or is that something that's not right? The first thing I see on here is that, notice the time on it, 8 o'clock. The model, which is this high-res model, has snow coming into Lake and Ashtabula County right now. If we go back to radar, that's not the case. It's offshore right now. So the model is off by, gosh, what is that, 10, 15 miles, which doesn't seem like much, but when you're dealing with heavy lake effect snow, that's a lot, all right? So that's a problem. And so if I look at this model and it shows the snow coming in right now off towards the north, we got to bump it up a little bit. And this is going to take a little bit longer than what the models are saying to get in here, okay? So that being said, here we go through time. Notice by 11 o'clock, it is now bringing the snow inland. That's about the time that trough gets here. So I would agree with this. Is it this far inland, though? That's my question. This could just be coming into Lake and Ashtabula County at that time, stretching from just around the Chardon area, northern Geauga County, over towards about the Jefferson area, eventually out towards the Dorset, and then out towards PA, right? Erie, Crawford counties. I don't know if it makes it that far south into Middlefield and Orwell and areas like that, okay? So just keep that in mind. Again, we're dissecting, we're going into this. These are the kind of things that I'm thinking about when I'm presenting a forecast, but we only have 2 minutes to do that. So we have a little bit more time here. As we go through time this evening, notice how that snow band stays persistent. It comes a little bit further south. You get these bursts of some pretty heavy snow at times. I mean, we could get some decent rates out of this. But bottom line, it's in Lake and Ashtabula County and then northern Geauga, northern Trumbull County, okay? Those are the areas of impact. Everyone else, I think we'll still have some snow showers around, not expecting anything too impactful tonight. The other thing we've been watching is the temperatures have been above freezing as expected. They're going to come down tonight, though, and that's going to help that snow to accumulate a lot easier. And also, we don't have daylight heating or from the sun. Despite the fact it's cloudy, we still get solar radiation from the sun. So it is harder to accumulate snow during the day than it is at night. So this should pile up pretty quickly if we can get this band in here, okay? All right, here we go. This is tomorrow morning, 4 or 5 o'clock. This is when your superintendents are making decisions on school. Are we going to have a rough decision to make in Lake and Ashtabula County? If it's coming down good enough, I think they will have a tough decision to make. We may not have a ton on the ground at that time, but 4 or 5 inches of snow on the ground, if this band materializes inland, could certainly do that. We may have some cancellations tomorrow. I would not be surprised. Ashtabula Lake County especially. I think we can handle this in northern Geauga County. I really do, and elsewhere as well. All right, as we go through time tomorrow morning, here's your rush hour. Model guidance has been really consistent on this. We get that push from the northwest, and it brings the snow band completely into Cuyahoga County. So we could have some decent snow. I think it would be a burst of snow rather than something steady. So we could have a real good burst in Cuyahoga County. That would push through Geauga County, eventually all the way down towards Akron. You see this push here of the snow as it comes inland. However, we're not going to see much beyond that. It looks like that's that next ripple of energy coming through in the atmosphere, and I think that'll kind of disrupt things. So yeah, we'll still have some lake effect snow, but it doesn't look to be nearly as organized throughout the day tomorrow, and everything kind of backs off. You see, we have a pretty quiet Thursday. Temperatures up into the 30s, above freezing, so any snow that we've had will have melted. So this really isn't going to be a big deal beyond that morning rush hour tomorrow. I think we kind of back off the gas pedal a little bit. Things will reorganize, and we'll see that lake effect develop once again Thursday night. So remember I was talking about those different ripples in the atmosphere that come through. Well, another one comes through tomorrow evening, all right? And you notice the increase in clouds. You notice how everything's kind of shifted. It's moving more southwest from the southwest. And look what happens tomorrow evening. We'll probably kick off some snow showers outside of the snowbelt. I know the model's not showing it, but this will reestablish a more intense lake effect band by tomorrow night out over the lake. And this is the one here that's going to head up towards Buffalo and nail them with snow tomorrow night. That'll happen all day Friday, probably into Friday night as well. For us locally, that'll shift the attention out over the lake on Friday, and we'll start to bring in some sunshine by Friday. It's going to be cold around here. We'll likely stay in the 20s and near 30 degrees. But look what happens as we go throughout the day Friday. This is Friday, 8 a.m. We have heavy snow out over the lake. The one thing we need to keep an eye on is, does this clip our lakeshore communities? That's a big difference if it does or doesn't, or does the entire band stay out over the lake? This is the big question area Thursday night into Friday. Do we get additional snow here? If we do, it's not going to be that real intense band that's out over the lake, but it would be light to moderate snow that can add up, especially if we get many hours of it. Everyone else is cold, pretty sunny around here. We'll eventually build some clouds with some snow showers throughout the day Friday. But notice the lake band is mainly to the north, maybe brushing the lakeshore communities. And it looks like, it's going to continue to add up there. As that next ripple comes in, we perhaps bring that lake effect snow band back inland again Friday night. Again, these things kind of waffle back and forth. If you've been around lake effect snow long enough, you'll know that band of snow, if we're looking at it, is like this, but it fluctuates on the wind. So if you get a little wind shift, that band that's like this may go like this, and it kind of does this. It waffles back and forth, and it matters who's under that waffle, right? It matters who is underneath that snow band, because you could have persistent snow for a couple hours, and then all of a sudden it's just north of you 3 miles, and that makes a heck of a difference, right, in terms of who's getting the heavy snow and who's not. So that being said, that's what we're watching into Friday. As we look forward beyond that, all right, I want to talk big picture with you. Then I'll show you some totals. Well, why don't we just show totals now? And again, these are model totals. It's model guidance. I'd rather go a general range. But this is the latest model run here, and you notice we've got much different totals from Ashtabula down towards the southern half of the county, Lake Geauga, even eastern Cuyahoga County, much different than what we're getting up towards the lakeshore. Zooming in on some of these latest numbers here, and you can see we're talking 6 to 10, maybe 11 inches of snow possible along and north of I-90 out towards the east. Meanwhile, this snow in eastern Cuyahoga and most of it in Geauga County is really from what happens tonight into tomorrow midday as that band shifts out of the north and west. Remember, we saw that shift. Everything comes inland. We get a push of snow tonight into tomorrow morning. That could impact that rush hour. But then after that, we're done. So there's not a lot of snow that's going to fall in these areas. The problem is the timing of it. If it is during that morning rush hour tomorrow, that's going to cause some problems, right? But the good news is it's not going to last real long. And then you can see outside of the snow belt, we're still talking a half inch or so, maybe up to an inch if you get one of those bursts of snow. A lot of that happens tonight. And then tomorrow morning, perhaps a little bit down towards the Akron area. But definitely the biggest totals are going to be, Lake County up towards northern Ashtabula County, even to Orwell and Andover, and even Jefferson. You're right on the edge of that, but even our southern part of the county, you're under that lake effect snow warning. It's not going to be warning criteria. The whole county happens to be issued. It's really the northern half of the county that's getting that, okay? All right, I want to talk briefly about what happens from there, and then we'll answer your questions and get you on your way here. Again, here's where we're going over the next couple days. Lots of lake effect, different ripples coming through, right? They all kind of change the trajectory of that. I want to pick it up on Friday. This is where we kind of left off. Snow band still going into Buffalo. All right, they're just getting plastered. I mean, they could see 3 to 5 inch rates per hour in this, if this band really gets intense. They call it a mega band. I mean, we could really pick up some heavy totals out there. I mean, that's incredible when you're talking 3 to 5 inches per hour. It usually doesn't sit over the same area, but it could. So there we go, Friday, to Saturday. Saturday's our day, I think, when we don't have really a chance of snow at all. We should have a pretty decent southwest flow, taking that lake effect snow off towards the north. Saturday night is where it gets interesting again. So on Saturday night, there's going to be one more wave that comes through and kind of redirects the snow. You can see there in the models how it kind of changes the direction of this. We'll have more of a northwest kick behind that. So Saturday night into Sunday morning is a time frame to watch. I could see the snow coming back into northeast Ohio, some of this lake effect. Again, it wouldn't last long, but we would have, some impact Sunday morning. Perhaps you're getting up early going to services, whatever it happens to be. We could be dealing with some snow around here, depending on how that materializes. And then here we go. This is Sunday morning for the Bills game. Notice Buffalo's fine, all right? So Buffalo's dealing with snow Friday, Saturday, and then it kind of pushes out Saturday night. So I could see the Browns game right here not having any snow, having some sunshine with just some snowflakes around. So keep that in mind. I know the Browns game's getting a lot of attention because it's up in Buffalo. I could foresee a situation where they're not getting any snow during the game. They'll have plenty of time to clear it up. There'd be lake effect snow around, but all indication right now is that Buffalo clears out for the game on Sunday. They would just have a lot on the ground from the previous 3 days. And then everything kind of comes back into Buffalo. We clear out, and then we're, just fine. We're fine and dandy. Our next system comes in here for Thanksgiving. That's really our next chance of rain as we warm up. But look at the lakes. Anywhere in red's over a foot. And again, this is kind of lower res, so we could have that, higher totals along our shoreline here. But you get the picture up towards Erie and Buffalo. That's where the real problems are going to be in terms of that snow, okay? I think that's all I've got for you. I hope that was, again, informative. I hope you got a lot out of that. The big problem is going to be out in our snowbelt if you're traveling on I-90 in Lake and Ashtabula County. That's going to be the place that you want to avoid over the next 24 hours. If you live out there, then just take it easy. Tomorrow morning is going to be a rough one. Tonight as well. If you're a third shift worker, maybe dealing with some problems. But we have to first get this band of heavy rain, which churns snow as it hits inland. We have to get this inland for us to see that. And as of right now, that's not happening, but that's because that trough hasn't crossed through yet. All right, so we've got a little bit of time until that trough gets here. It's right about here, probably another hour and a half or so before that little wind shift affects our line and starts to turn it a little bit more inland, okay? Which is good news for all those late evening drivers out there and all that good stuff, okay? All right, well, I guess that's it. I appreciate you, again, spending your time with me. I haven't seen a lot of questions on there, so nothing, I don't think, pressing that I didn't cover, hopefully. But anyway, I do appreciate you spending your Wednesday evening with me. We've got a forecast again at 11. We've got lots of time to present that to you. I'll have new model runs in at 11, so we'll have new information coming in that you and I will both look at for the first time. Maybe it'll have some kind of fluctuation in that band. I'm not sure. But as of right now, we've got the latest information to you on this, and we'll do that again at 11. So stay up late. Keep an eye on us here at 11 o'clock for what's next, and we'll keep you updated. We also have our eye alerts working as well, so tomorrow morning you'll know if there are any school cancellations. Holly's going to pick it up from there. We'll keep that story going, okay? So overall summary, no big deal, right? But we're going to have some issues out in Lake and Ashtabula County, so keep that in mind, okay? But outside of that, it's just November as she goes, okay? All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. We'll see you at 11 o'clock. All right,